Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Nintendo Switch house. Yeah, believe it or not, this thing is actually a functional house. So as you can see, we have the portable version of the Nintendo Switch, we have the handheld version, we have both controllers attached to the little tablet, and it is a house. The way that it is a house is, you enter your Nintendo Switch in the left hand side here, nice and concealed on the left, and all of the living space is in the left controller and the right controller. Admittedly, it's not exactly the biggest house, it's not exactly an amazing survival house, but it is a house, and it's just a nice, novel, quirky, interesting thing that you can build in your world. I've got a lot of video game related builds and a few video game related houses, and well, I think this is a good one to add to the collection. If you enjoyed this build, please do remember to smack that like button. If you do enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. Please do, if you subscribe, click the little bell next to the subscription button and say that you have subscribed. I'd like to say hello to my brand new subscribers. Oh, and by the way, I have also built a bigger version of the Nintendo Switch house. I'm not sure whether you guys would be interested in that or not. This one is at least like 40% bigger, so I don't know, it's a little bit more detailed. Let me know, do you want to see both versions, or would you like me to stop at just the one? You'll have to let me know. But without any further ado, let me show you how to make the original, smaller, family-friendly version. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some cyan hardened clay, some black wool, some cyan wool, some red wool, and some black stained glass block. Those are the only materials you need. You need very few of them. If you want to do anything to the inside, then obviously you'll have to grab some different things, but pretty much these are all you need. So once you have all of these materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, and I can tell you guys that this house right here will fit into a 54 block, that's 54 blocks coming across the front, by an 8 block, that's 8 blocks going towards the back area. So if you want to map this out, plan this out in your world, feel free to make this green rectangle in your very own world. And if you do make the green rectangle, come all the way down to the front bottom left hand corner of your green rectangle, count inwards to the right and find the 13th block in. So this is the first block, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Count inwards, coming towards the center by 2, 1, 2, and start the build here. That way, we're building in the exact same way, in the exact same parameters, and we will have the exact same thing. So start on top of this and do a row of 30 cyan stained clay going right. So that's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Go up on top of this 30th block by 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Take that 18th block, extend it all the way over to the left. Might take you a while, but you want to extend it all the way over to the left, and the goal here is to connect it down to where we very first started, to create a rectangular shape such as this. Perfect. Now, once you have your rectangular shape, this is what we'll do next. Come all the way back to where you very first started, which is this bottom left-hand corner. Extend this corner to the left by 6 with your cyan wool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do 2 upper left diagonals, 1 and 2. Go up by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Do 2 upper right diagonals, 1 and 2. And go right to connect back to the build, like this. What we then want to do is we want to take this row of 6 cyan wool that we have down below. You want to take the first 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and extend them outwards. You then want to take this 5th block, and you want to do 2 up left diagonals from it, that's 1 and 2. You want to go upwards, and you want to sit inside of the empty space of the row of cyan, so it wants to come all the way up until we hit this diagonal cyan block. we want to do 2 upright diagonals from this cyan block that we have here. So 1 upright diagonal, 2 upright diagonals. Then we want to go to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend downwards. So in essence, the shape that we want to have should look like this. Just in case I explained it a little bit poorly, we want to sit inside of the empty space that is created by the outline of cyan. It looks like that. Fill in the center of this layer of cyan with your cyan, like this. And what we will then do is we will add all of the buttons and stuff that we have to your Nintendo Switch controller. So we want to fill that in with cyan. We now want to come all the way down to the bottom right-hand corner of your cyan wall, which is here, like this corner block. You guys can see it. If you can't, I'd get glasses. From this corner block, do an up left diagonal and place a cyan hardened clay, so in this position. Then, from this cyan clay, you want to do 2 up left diagonals, so you want to move up 2 up left diagonally, so 1, 2, and you want to place a black wall. You then want to move upwards by 2, then you want to move left by 2, place a black wall. Move to the right of that center block by 2, place a black wall. Move upwards from the center block by 2, 1, 2, place a black wall. Like this. We then want to, leaving a gap of 3 blocks between this upper black wall, 1, 2, and 3, we want to leave a gap of 3. Then we want to place another black wall, so make sure you leave a gap of 3. On top of that black wall, place a cyan hardened clay. Go left of that cyan hardened clay by 1, up by 2, right by 2, down by 2, place a black wall in the center of that shape, left of that shape, right of that shape, and above, so coming out of each of the middle sides. We then want to, from the upper black wall of the analog stick that you've just created, you want to, leaving a gap of 1 upright diagonally, place a cyan hardened clay in this position. I don't know how well I've explained that, but this is the outcome of what you've just made. That's what we want to have. Now, once you've got that sorted out, this is what we will do next. So, we want to take, and come to the back of your control of this, we want to take each one of these cyan walls, and we want to extend them backwards each by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys get the idea. You have to do this quite a few times to every single cyan, because what we're going to be doing next is we're going to extend all of these cyan walls backwards, and then we will simply, like, you know how we filled in the front of the controller with cyan, how we kind of like came in a little bit to create a nice 3D shape? We want the similar deal with the back, minus the buttons of course. So, we just want to, first of all, extend all of the blocks backwards by 4, as you can see. And now, we want to, starting from this back left-hand cyan wall, we want to start with a row of 5 cyan going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to do 2 upright diagonals, 1 and 2. We want to extend upwards until we sit underneath a cyan block. Then do 2 up left diagonals. Go left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend downwards. So we now want to connect down. Fill in the center of this row with cyan wool. Don't do anything else. The only thing that we have to do in relation to this particular part of the controller now is we have to add on the actual grip part, so on the left, and we have to add on the bumper at the top. To add on the bumper, it's very simple. Come to the top of your controller. Start on top of the very left-hand side of the controller. You want to take the middle block of this, and you want to do a row of black wool that runs all the way up the middle, coming towards the end of your cyan wall, leaving a gap of 2. Extend the black outwards, coming out the front and the back by 1 row. So take that row of black wool, extend it backwards and forwards by 1 row. That is the bumper. Very simple. Now, what do we want to do next? So the next thing we want to do is we want to come all the way down to the bottom left middle part of the controller. So what you want to do to actually make the grippy part of the controller is you want to take the middle block in this row of cyan that sits one block off of the floor, you want to place a cyan hardened clay. From this cyan hardened clay, do a bottom left diagonal, go left by 1, do 2 upper left diagonals, that is 1 and 2, and go up on top of that cyan hardened clay by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do an upper right diagonal, go up by 1, do an upright diagonal, up by 1, do an upright diagonal. So, what you want to have should look like this. Extend that layer of cyan hardened clay forwards and backwards by 1 row. So that's forwards. We also want backwards by 1 row like this. The next thing that we have to do is we have to fill in the front and back part of the grippy bit. And the way that we do that is that we take the empty space that we have on the front and the back and 1 row outwards in relation to the outline that we've made, we fill in the empty space. So that might sound a little bit tricky, but it's actually very, very simple. So, in reality, it ends up looking like that. Very simple. So, you take the empty space that you have, you fill it in with cyan hardened clay, except you simply do it 1 row outwards. And the effect looks very, very similar to this. Perfecto. Now, once you've done that to the left-hand side, the right-hand side of your switch is actually very, very simple. It's very similar indeed. So once that left-hand side sorted out, come all the way over to the right-hand side. Take out your red wall this time. Going right of the bottom front right-hand corner of your cyan hardened clay, you want to take this corner of the giant rectangle and you want to go right of it by 6 with your red wall. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go then do 2 upper right diagonals with your red. That's 1 and 2. Go up by 14. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Do 2 upper left diagonals. 1 and 2. And then go left to connect back to your switch. We then want to take this layer of red wall that we have and we have to fill it in a little bit. We have to fill it in a little bit outwards. So the way that we do this, of course, is we take the very first red wall block that we placed and we extend it outwards by 1 towards us. We then go to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 2 upper right diagonals. 1, 2. Extend that block upwards until it sits underneath this red block. Do 2 up left diagonals. 1, 2. Extend to the left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then extend downwards. So extend downwards until you connect back to where you first started. We then, of course, have to fill this in, and because this is the front of the build, we must also add in all of the other details. It's basically the same as the opposite side, except it's a little bit opposite, for a lack of a better phrasing, but that is the right-hand side. We want to come to the bottom left-hand side of the layer of red wall that we've placed. Coming inwards, upper right diagonally, we want to, from this corner, we want to do an upright diagonal and we want to place a cyan hardened clay. We then want to, leaving a gap of 1 upper right diagonally, so leave a gap of 1 upright diagonally in this position. We want to place a black wall. On top of that black, a cyan. Go left of that cyan hardened clay by 1, up by 2, right by 2, down by 2. Fill the center of this in with black, then extend the left hand, right hand, and upper middle parts of the shape outwards with your black wall, like this. Then, leaving a gap of 3 between this upper black wall, leaving a gap of 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, you want to be on this block. You want to place a black wall, so leaving a gap of 3. You want to place your black wall. Then you want to, leaving a gap of 2 between this black, so 1 and 2, you want to come up and you want to find the second block. Then from the second block, you want to leave a gap of 1 every single side of this red wall. Leave a gap of 1 and place a black. So gap of 1 to the left, gap of 1 to the right, gap of 1 up above. So you want to end up with this shape. Then take the upper black wall that you place, you want to leave a gap of 1 up left diagonally, and place a cyan hardened clay. Now, once again, I'm not sure whether that's explained very well, but that is what you want to have. I'm sure that it's not that difficult for you guys to do. Once you've got that sorted out, this is what we'll do next. Come to the back of the right hand side of the controller, we have to take every single one of these outer red walls and extend them backwards each by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc, etc. Every single one of the red walls, exactly how we did on the opposite side. After we have extended these, we will give shape to the back of the switch. We have to add a little bit of shape, don't we? We have to make the controller portion of this all nice and what have you. We also have to add the grip and the bumper that exists on the top of this particular part of the switch, and then we just have to make the back of the screen. So, we want to have a layer of red wall like this. However, we then want to come all the way back down to the bottom right hand side of the back of the controller. We want to take this red wall here, extend it outwards by 1, left by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, do 2 up left diagonals, 1, 2, extend upwards until you sit underneath the red wall, do 2 up right diagonals, 1, 2, right by 4, connect down to give you something which should look like that. Fill the center of this in with red wool, like this. Fill the center of it in with red wool, and that will be most of this particular part of the controller taken care of. So we want to have that. Those are the right controls. Now we have to add a bumper on top. The way that we do this is we take the top center row of red and we place a black wool on the very outer part. Then the next bit. Then on top of this big section, we come inwards until we leave a gap of 2 between the edge with our black wool like so. Then reinforce the black wool on the front and the back to create this. And that is the bumper. Now it's time for us to do the actual gripper. So for the gripper, quite simple. You come all the way back down to the bottom right hand side center of the controller. We take this row of red wool that is hovering off the ground and we extend it outwards by 1 with the cyan hardened clay. From the cyan hardened clay, you want to do a bottom right diagonal, right by 1, do 2 up right diagonals, 1, 2, go up by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, do an up left diagonal, up 1, up left diagonal, up 1, up left diagonal. Extend this layer of cyan towards you by 1 row, and also you will have to extend it backwards by 1 row too. So that's towards us, and we just have to extend it backwards by 1 row as well, like that. Now all we have to do is we have to fill in the center of the shape that we have using our cyan hardened clay, except the layer of cyan hardened clay is, of course, you guys know this, we've done this a couple of times already, the layer of cyan is 1 row outwards. However, it does cover up all the empty space. We want to do that on the back and also the front. As you can see, we also want to do it to the front too. Like this, and this, and this. And you just want to have something which should look like that. Perfect. Now, the only thing that we have to do is the screen. So, this is the screen on the front. The way this is going to look is simple. We take the rectangular shape that we have, we place a cyan hardened clay inside each one of the 4 corners of the rectangular shape. Like that. We then fill the complete center of this in with black stained glass block. Not black stained glass pane, because I think that the glass block kind of adds something to it. However, you use the glass block. But we also have to make the back of the screen. The back of the switch screen is the exact same as the front switch screen, in the exact same position on the back as the front. So on the back of the build, you want to come to any part of the back, you want to come inwards, and you want to 1 row inwards from the back of the build. You want to also have a layer of cyan hardened clay that is identical to the layer of cyan hardened clay that you have on the front. So you can see that just 1 row inwards from the back, you want to have the same layer of cyan that is on the front. We are also going to fill in the back of the screen as well. However, once we have added a cyan hardened clay in each one of the 4 corners here, we are going to fill this particular back screen in with black wool instead of black glass. So, it'll look like that. Also, something we have to do is we have to fill the top of it in with cyan hardened clay. Very simple. So guys, I'm going to do 3 things whilst I'm off recording. I'm going to fill the screen in with glass, the back of the screen in with black, and I'll fill the top in with cyan. These are all things that you need no instruction for. I'm sure that you'll manage it, and once you've done it, you'll be left with an awesome Nintendo Switch. And here we are. So as you can see, I've filled in the screen with glass, I've filled the back of this thing in with black wool, and I've filled the top of it in with cyan hardened clay. Those are all things that you probably didn't have to see me do, so I've cut that out. If you're still working on that, you don't necessarily have to pause this video because the tutorial for this is pretty much over. This is the Nintendo Switch house. If you do actually want to turn the inside of this into the house, the only advice I have for you is make the entrance on either the left hand side or the right hand side, and I would very covertly add it in underneath the part of the controller that you grip, so you won't even really be able to see it very well at all. As a matter of fact, you might not even be able to find your way in if you didn't already know how to get in there. It's just a really cool, secret, hidden away house in a really awesome looking setting. It's such an awesome looking house. I really do like this quite a bit. If you want to go back and get some ideas for how to actually fill in the interior, check out the start of the video. That'll have everything that you need. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do remember to smack that like button. Really helps me out, inspires me to make more things like this. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. If you subscribe, please say hello and click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all of my videos sent directly to your sub box, which is very, very important for everybody, trust me. Also, please do, if you do want to see the bigger version of this, let me know down there in the comment section as well. If you don't, no big deal, just let me know. Also, suggest other things that you'd like to see in the future. If you want to check out any more of the channel, oh yeah, there's more. Check out the card system in the description below. We do lots of stuff around here. So, we don't just make theme houses like the Nintendo Switch, but we make garden houses, we make survival houses, we make modern houses, we do all sorts of stuff. So, if you wanted to check out some of my survival houses, some of my wooden houses, check out the wooden house playlist in the cards in the description below. If you want, oh well, this is a survival house as well. If you wanted to make more survival houses, check that out. But if you wanted to make some other things, if you wanted to make, say, some public park builds, check out the public park playlist. If you wanted to check out some city builds, of which we have quite a few, check out the city builds playlist, from hotels, town halls, apartment buildings, that is a skyscraper, trampoline warehouse, that sort of thing. You guys get the idea. If you want to make some suburban houses, some modern houses, we have all sorts. I have 2 very cool examples built over here. We have 3 examples. You guys haven't even seen that house over there yet. That is a modern mansion. Again, check out the modern house playlist. That is an awesome suburban style mansion. Check out the suburban style playlist. We have loads more on the channel. Check it all out. We have so much more than there is even in this world. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.